Have you ever been shopping and wondered, hey, is that price tag a solid promise? You see a price you want to buy, but is the seller actually locked in? It's a question we all bump into, whether we're grabbing a coffee or buying a car. So let's dive in and solve this little price puzzle together. It really all boils down to this one simple question. When someone just gives you a price, are they making a binding commitment right then and there? Or is it, just the start of a conversation? The answer actually has huge implications for how we do business, literally every single day. Okay, let's make this super clear. Imagine you're trying to buy something, and the seller just texts you, lowest price, 900 pounds. That's it. If you immediately reply, I'll take it, have you just legally sealed the deal? Can you actually force them to sell it to you for that price? Well, let's find out. To get to the bottom of our 900-pound puzzle, we need to get friendly with two really important legal ideas. They're the backbone of pretty much any negotiation: the offer and something called an invitation to treat. Now, they might sound kind of similar, but trust me, in the eyes of the law, they are worlds apart. First up, let's talk about the offer. Think of an offer as the final dramatic step before a deal is done. It's serious. When you make an offer, you're basically putting your cards on the table and saying, here are my exact terms. If you say yes, we have a deal. It's on. No more talking. But then, on the other hand, we have this thing called an invitation to treat. And this is where it gets really interesting. This is not a promise at all. It's more like putting up a sign that says, hey, I'm open for business, let's talk. It's an invitation for you to be the one to come forward and make the actual offer. So you can see how the whole flow of the negotiation changes, right? An offer is like the finish line. The only thing left is for someone to say yes. But an invitation to treat, that's just the starting gun. Its whole purpose is to get someone else to make the offer. Now, let's see how this whole thing played out in a real classic court case. So, how do we know all this for sure? Well, this whole principle was pretty much set in stone in a really important case from way back when, Harvey versus Facey. This case from 1893 set the precedent that courts still look back on today. That's right. The answer to our totally modern, everyday question was actually sorted out over 100 years ago. It's a foundational piece of contract law that has really stood the test of time, which just goes to show you how important this distinction is. And here it is, the heart of the matter. The court's final ruling was absolutely crystal clear. A statement of the lowest price, just like our lowest price $900 example, is not a final binding offer. It is just an invitation for the other person to start talking. So let's bring this all back home to our original question. That message, lowest price 900 pounds, it doesn't create a contract, not at all. The seller is just giving you a piece of information, a number to start with. They are inviting you to make an offer, which, by the way, they are totally free to either accept or reject. Okay, I know what you're thinking. A law from the 1890s. Why should I care? Well, because this principle is at work in almost every single purchase you make, from the stuff in your online shopping cart to the groceries on the supermarket shelf. Let's just walk through a normal shopping trip, shall we? You see that price tag on an item in a store? That's not an offer from the shop. Nope, it's just an invitation. Then, when you take that item to the cashier, you are the one making an offer to buy it for that price. And the deal is only done, the contract is only formed, when the cashier takes your money. That's the acceptance. So here's the bottom line. A price tag doesn't force anyone to sell you anything. So, for example, if an item was accidentally mispriced, the store doesn't have to honor it. The power to actually complete the deal, to form the contract, rests with the seller when they accept your offer to buy. So this leaves us with a really interesting thought, doesn't it? Knowing that it's usually the buyer who makes the official offer, who do you think really holds the power in our day-to-day deals? It might just change the way you look at things the next time you're at the checkout.